The summer solstice is actually a point in the season when the sun is at its most northerly point in the sky. After the longest day, then the sun starts to move in a southerly direction until we get to the winter solstice, when it's at its most southern point. But what's so unique about Stonehenge is the alignment of the stones. When the sun rises on the solstice, on the longest day, it shines up the ancient processional way right into the centre of the circle. And that's not by accident. It was designed specifically for this particular time of the season.
Many people don't know what Druids are or what we believe in. And Druids come as the ancient priesthood of the Celts. And as Druids, we believe that we also took on the knowledge of the megalith builders who built the likes of Stonehenge. It wasn't an invasion, the two things merged and then they took on the name of Druids. And modern Druids, we try and capture and find the missing acorns of knowledge that are hidden all over Celtic culture, understand them and then bring them back into the light.
All sorts of people come to Stonehenge for the summer solstice. These are people, as you'd expect, the Druids and the pagans, who've had an association with Stonehenge for many, many years. But also people who just want to see the sunrise on the longest day at Stonehenge. It's quite a remarkable time. And if we get a good sunrise without the cloud, then it's a wonderful occasion to be at.
So they must have to be careful when you guys are letting people at the solstice. Yes.
The simple Druid robes that I'm wearing are practical. On a winter solstice you absolutely freeze, and if it's raining or the wind is really strong you can pull a hood up. I hope this is giving a wobbly, very practical. It's also white by tradition. The Romans and the Greeks recorded that the Druids would wear white for official ceremonies.
Stonehenge goes back 5,000 years. That's when there was just simply a bank and ditch structure. And fairly soon after that, there were a number of timber post holes, 56 of them put in place. And there's evidence to suggest that it was a place where people were buried. There are cremated remains that were found underneath where these post holes were excavated. Soon after that, around about 4,500 years ago, that's when the first stones came in. And these stones were blue stones. They came from the Processional Mountains, about 250 kilometres away. Quite a feat in itself to carry a 5-ton stone all the way from southwest Wales. And then it was fairly soon after that that the larger stones came to Stonehenge. These are the Sarsen Stones. These are the big stones that you can see behind me. And these weigh anything up to 40 tonnes. And they came from the Marlborough Downs, which are about 30 kilometres away.
They're actually very good at helping you sort of police it, because it's a sacred place to them and they don't want people.
We don't know exactly what Stonehenge was used for. It may have been a precise observatory to mark the movements of the sun, the moon, the stars. It's in a wonderful landscape full of other archaeological remains of burial mounds, so therefore maybe it was a ceremony to our ancestors.
It's smaller than I thought it was, having kind of seen it over the years on television and what have you, and not actually seen it in the flesh, as it were. It's a lot smaller than I thought. I was thinking about a much larger group of stones, but it is very compact.
I think it's just a fantastic sort of historical structure. I mean, there's a lot of history behind it, and just listening to what's actually been said on the audio video, it's just quite amazing.
I think it's fascinating. I found very interesting the alignment for the seasons with the sun and the moon. I guess those people had a great awareness of astronomy.
Oh, on the summer solstice we'll have lots of ceremonies going on. It will start with a sacred procession and we'll carry 2 torches forward to the outskirts of the henge. We won't actually go in, probably, because of the number of people that will be joining us there. there'll be the King's drummers, King Arthur's drummers, who'll be dressed in megalithic costume, wildly bouncing around, beating massive drums, and the rhythms of those will go forward for hours. We will have singing bowls in the henge, which will just create a sacred sound that will affect everybody who hears them, I think, especially located here.
We would welcome anyone to come to Stonehenge for the summer solstice. It's a magnificent time. Last year we had about 20,000 people, but what we would say to them is that please look at the conditions of entry. We do want people to respect the stones, and we want people to have a safe and enjoyable celebration.